Welcome to the basement. I just got these shocks yesterday. I'm throwing them together. So it's got a remote reservoir. They feel pretty good. And I couldn't find any videos on how to put these together, what to expect, how to bleed them to get a good feel to them. So I just wanted to do that. These are cool racing piggyback or remote piggyback shocks. I got these off of eBay, straight from China. You know, really no branding. It's like a knockoff King. They feel really good. Like, they come with no oil in them. They come with, this is what it looks like when you get it. This is when it's fully assembled. Okay, so it's got a rubber line, silicone line for the piggyback. It's got a spring. You can cut this shorter. I just left it the way it is for now because I haven't mounted it in the vehicle. If I want to cut it shorter, I can always do that later. It came with a second set of springs. Now, I'm not sure, but to me it feels like these are softer than the ones that are on here, so I went with the softer ones. That's just my preference. My truck's not super heavy. This is gonna go on my Wraith 1.9. These are 90mm shocks. So, you know, same thing that came off of it. They feel pretty good. You know, they get a dual rate spring, and it actually went together pretty good. So let's start that. Just gonna set this guy off to the side. So first thing you want to do, take it apart. So we're not going to use these springs. So I'm going to set these off to the side. Like I said, they feel stiffer. I like a looser spring. So this was not tight on the other one. It's not tight on this one. Bottom cap. Just going to turn that adjuster down. On the other one, that was plugged. So I had to take that out. I used body pin from my SCX24 deadbolt and just bent it to stab it out. Otherwise, it did not want to come apart. It came with some extra O-rings. It came with these 3 O-rings, which we're going to use. We have to put in. So there's an O-ring here, and that's one of the extra O-rings. I would assume for the inside is what these other O-rings are for. But we're not going to need those. Just going to snug that up real good. Alright, well, we want to get some oil in here. I'm using 35 weight. It's what I had. It's what I've always used. I've never had any complaints with it. Just gonna dump some oil in here. And you want to fill this up pretty good. Now we're just gonna work the bubbles out. So like I said, the other one was plugged, so this one isn't. And I don't even know what was in it. It was white, and it was pretty hard to poke out of it. But hey, these are, you know, cheap shocks. We'll see how well they hold up. They feel, like I said, they feel really good. I'm pretty happy with them. They're adjustable. The dampening is adjustable with this guy. You'll see when we take that apart how that works. And like I said, it went together pretty good. So I'm gonna fill this up. And any extra should just come out of this port. A little bit of oil just squirted out. That's just fine. One thing I did do with the other one is these were cut at an angle. Just gonna square it up. Ooh. Tighten that down. All right. So now our shock is kind of half done. Now we want to take this part. So in here, you got a stopper for the spring, you got a spring, and then you got a piston in here. And this is what these 3 O-rings go on. I'm gonna pop them on. Pop you all on. And get that on. Alright. Don't forget to put the spring on. So I'm just going to square up this one. Just make sure. Wait, I can see through it. Okay, so now we have the piggyback reservoir. We're going to put some oil in here. Now, it's important, if you want to get the air out of here, that this remains the highest point. So what we're going to do is we're going to compress it. Hopefully that brought, yep, there's a big bubble. Take it back down. There's a big bubble. I'll just keep working these bubbles out. And eventually, we'll get them all out of there. And then, like right now I can see there's too much oil in the reservoir, which that's okay. We'll just dump some of it back out. Alright, so I've got it down to the bottom. I'm just gonna dump it into this here winch container. See that I still got oil in the bottom, which is what I want. Wipe off the axles. So what we want to do is we want to get this piston in here. So we're going to drive the oil back up. Oh, and there came a bubble. Okay, we've got oil in the bottom of the reservoir yet, and now we're going to get this piston in there, which this is kind of a pain in the butt to get this in there right, but that's okay, because you got to get the air out of it. See how we're pushing the shock back out? So we're going to end up with some air in this thing that we're going to have to try and get out. Cap on, spring. I mean, the beauty part is we can adjust this. Oh yeah, I've got too much oil in there. So we got to take the piston back out. Actually, duh. So I did it the last time. shock all the way down. We're gonna do 2. Press that piston all the way down. Oil coming out. Pistons down all the way. Ram is down all the way. Okay, so let's see what happens when we put it together. I can tell that the one I did first feels a lot better than the second one I did. So let's see if we can adjust that out. Alright, we're going to try that right there. It definitely didn't go according to plan at all, but we'll see how they work out on the truck. If anything, they're gonna look amazing. It came with these little brackets put on. Covers their logo, whatever. How else are you supposed to attach it to the truck? I haven't decided exactly where I'm gonna put them yet, but hang them in there somewhere. Alright, now to do 2 more. Like when you get them, come in a package like this. Those off to the side. Then it's got this little bag with your O-rings in it. Oh. Hey, you get back on there. So this is how that piggyback adjuster works. The more you take the screw in, the more pressure it's going to keep, the harder the spring is going to become. And you're going to want it to return just a little bit.